Stop right there, my child. Do not scroll away. Do not rush past this moment. Take a deep breath and listen carefully, because what you are hearing right now is not an accident. You did not find these words by chance. Out of all the videos, all the messages, all the distractions competing for your attention today, somehow you ended up here. And I need you to know something. I brought you here. Before you dismiss that thought, before you tell yourself that this is just another video, another voice, another message among thousands, listen to me for a moment longer, because I have been waiting for this moment. I have been watching you carry burdens that no one else fully understands. I have seen the weight you've been trying to hide behind your smile. I have seen the exhaustion in your heart, the questions that keep you awake at night, and the silent battles you fight when no one is around. You have wondered if anyone notices. I notice. You have wondered if anyone cares. I care. You have wondered if your prayers have disappeared into silence. They have not. Every prayer, every tear, every whispered cry in the darkness has reached me. Not one was lost. Not one was ignored. My child, there is a reason your heart feels drawn to these words right now. There is a reason you felt compelled to stop and listen. Deep inside, a part of you has been searching for confirmation that you are not alone, that your struggle has meaning, that the story of your life is not ending in disappointment. And today I want you to hear this clearly. You are not forgotten. You never were. Even when doors closed, even when people walked away, even when opportunities disappeared, even when you felt abandoned, I was still there. I was working in ways you could not see. I was protecting you from things you did not understand. I was preparing something that required time. There were lessons your heart needed to learn. There was strength your spirit needed to build. There were wounds that needed healing before you could carry what I was preparing to place in your hands. You thought the waiting meant I had forgotten you. But the waiting was never abandonment. The waiting was preparation. The waiting was protection. The waiting was part of the plan. And now, something is changing. Can you feel it? Maybe you cannot explain it. Maybe you cannot put it into words. But something inside you knows that this moment feels different. It feels as if you were meant to hear this today. That feeling is not your imagination. It is me calling your attention, because there are things I need to reveal to you. Things that will help you understand why the road has been so difficult. Things that will show you why certain prayers seemed unanswered. Things that will reveal how close you truly are to the breakthrough you've been waiting for. But before I show you any of that, I need you to do one thing. Stop looking at your life through the lens of disappointment. Stop measuring your future by your past. Stop believing the lie that nothing will ever change. Because the chapter you are standing in right now is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new one. And before this message is over, you will begin to understand why everything had to happen exactly the way it did. So stay with me, my child. Do not leave yet. What I am about to reveal may be the answer you have been praying for all along. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand today. You were never fighting alone. I know there were moments when it felt that way. Moments when the room felt empty. Moments when the silence seemed overwhelming. Moments when you cried yourself to sleep and wondered if anyone truly understood what you were carrying. But I was there. I saw every battle you fought in secret. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone else could notice them. I saw the messages you never sent. I saw the conversations that broke your heart. I saw the disappointments you never talked about because you were tired of explaining your pain to people who could not understand it. My child, I saw everything. I saw you trying to stay strong when you felt like falling apart. I saw you getting up every morning while carrying burdens that would have crushed many others. I saw you smiling when your heart was hurting. I saw you encouraging others while secretly wondering who would encourage you. And through every moment, I remained beside you. There were nights when anxiety filled your mind and sleep would not come. Your thoughts raced from one worry to another. Questions echoed through your heart. What if nothing changes? What if things never get better? What if I am forgotten? You may not have heard my voice then, but I was speaking. Quietly, gently, patiently. Trying to remind you that your story was not over. The enemy wanted you to believe that your struggles were proof that I had abandoned you. But that was never true. Not for a single moment. You see, my child, the battles that almost broke you were not hidden from me. The betrayal, the rejection, the loneliness, the disappointment, the fear. I witnessed it all. When people walked away from you, I stayed. When others misunderstood you, I understood. When nobody checked on you, I watched over you. When your strength failed, mine did not. There were moments you came closer to giving up than anyone realizes. You questioned your future. You questioned your worth. You questioned whether your prayers mattered. Yet somehow you kept moving forward. Do you know why? Because even when you could not feel my hand, I was holding you. Even when you could not see my presence, I was carrying you. Even when your faith felt weak, my faithfulness remained strong. My child, I am proud of you. Yes, proud of you. Not because you were perfect, not because you never doubted, not because you never struggled. I am proud of you because you kept going. You kept standing. You kept believing. Even when the evidence around you told you to quit, you kept hoping when hope seemed impossible. That matters more than you know. Every time you chose to get back up after disappointment, heaven noticed. Every time you chose kindness instead of bitterness, heaven noticed. Every time you whispered a prayer through your tears, heaven noticed. Nothing was wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single prayer. Not a single painful lesson. I have been using every part of your journey to shape you into someone stronger than you realize. And now I need you to hear this carefully. The pain you endured was never the whole story. The heartbreak was never the final chapter. The waiting was never the destination. There is more ahead. Much more. In fact, some of the very things that caused you the greatest confusion will soon begin to make sense. You will look back and understand why certain doors had to close. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why certain plans never worked out. Right now, you only see the pieces, but I see the entire picture. And the picture is more beautiful than you can imagine. So stop believing the lie that you have been abandoned. Stop believing the lie that your struggle means I have forgotten you. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not overlooked. You are deeply loved, deeply known, and deeply cared for. I have seen every battle you fought in secret, and what you thought was abandonment was actually something very different. While you were crying out for answers, I was protecting you. While you were waiting, I was preparing you, and what I am about to reveal next may change the way you see every delay you have ever experienced. My precious child, if there is one truth I need you to understand today, it is this. What you called delay was never punishment. What you called rejection was never abandonment. And what you called failure was often my protection. I know there were times when you begged me to open a door. You prayed, you waited, you hoped, you believed. Yet the answer never came the way you expected. The opportunity disappeared. The relationship ended. The plan fell apart. The dream seemed to slip further away. And in those painful moments, you wondered why. You asked me questions that echoed through your heart. Why didn't it happen? Why did that door close? Why did I have to go through this? My child, I heard every question, and today I want you to hear my answer. You were seeing the moment. I was seeing the future. You were looking at one chapter. I was looking at the entire story. There were things hidden beyond those closed doors that you could not see. There were dangers you did not recognize. There were disappointments I was sparing you from. There were traps disguised as blessings. Had I allowed some of those doors to open when you wanted them to, they would have brought pain far greater than the temporary disappointment you experienced. I know that is difficult to understand. Because when your heart wants something deeply, any delay feels painful. Waiting feels unfair. Silence feels confusing. But my child, my silence was never absence. My delay was never neglect. I was working even when you could not see it. I was protecting even when you could not understand it. Think about how many times you later realized that something you desperately wanted would have hurt you if you had received it. Think about the people you cried over, the opportunities you chased, the situations you thought would complete your life. Many of them were not part of the future I designed for you. I removed them because I love you, not because I wanted to hurt you, not because I wanted you to suffer, but because I could see what you could not. My child, there were seasons when your heart was not ready for what you were asking me to give. You wanted the blessing. I was building the foundation. You wanted the promise. I was preparing the person who would carry the promise. Because blessings received before maturity often become burdens. And I love you too much to place something in your hands before your spirit is strong enough to hold it. So while you thought nothing was happening, I was doing some of my greatest work. I was strengthening your faith, teaching you patience, healing hidden wounds, breaking unhealthy attachments, removing distractions, transforming parts of your heart that needed growth. You could not always see it, but heaven was busy. Every day, every night, every moment, even when everything looked still. You may have felt forgotten, but you were never forgotten. You were being prepared. There is a difference. Preparation often feels like delay when you cannot see what is happening behind the scenes. A seed buried beneath the ground may appear inactive, but beneath the surface, life is growing, roots are forming, strength is developing, and when the right season arrives, growth suddenly becomes visible. That is what has been happening in your life. The roots have been growing. The preparation has been happening. The strengthening has been taking place, and now you are closer than you realize. Closer to understanding, closer to healing, closer to breakthrough, closer to the answers you've been waiting for. But I need you to stop looking backward. Stop mourning every closed door. Stop wishing for paths I intentionally removed. Stop asking me to restore things I protected you from. Trust me, my child. If I closed it, there was a reason. If I removed it, there was a purpose. If I delayed it, there was wisdom behind it. Because I do not merely see today's pain, I see tomorrow's victory. I see next year's blessing. I see the future I am building for you. And what I am preparing is far greater than what you thought you lost. One day you will look back and thank me for every unanswered prayer. You will thank me for every closed door. You will thank me for every delay. Because you will finally see that what appeared to be rejection was actually divine protection. And there is something even more important you need to understand. The season you have been walking through was never only about protecting you from the wrong things. It was also about preparing you for the right things. And that preparation is what we must talk about next. My beloved child, now I want to show you something that many people never understand. The season you have been walking through was never just about waiting. It was about becoming. You believed I was only preparing blessings for you, but all along I was preparing you for the blessings. There is a difference. Many people ask for greater opportunities. Few ask for the wisdom to handle them. Many pray for influence. Few pray for the character to sustain it. Many desire the promise. Few understand the preparation required before the promise arrives. My child, I love you too much to give you something that could destroy you simply because you were not ready to carry it. That is why this season was necessary. I know there were days when you felt frustrated. Days when you looked around and wondered why others seemed to move ahead while your life felt stuck. You compared your journey to theirs. You compared your timing to theirs. You compared your progress to theirs. And every comparison made the waiting feel heavier. But what you could not see was that I was working on something far deeper than outward success. I was working on your heart. I was teaching you how to trust me when you could not see the outcome. I was teaching you how to walk by faith instead of feelings. I was teaching you how to remain steady when circumstances tried to shake you. Those lessons are priceless, because the blessing I am preparing for you requires a stronger version of you than the one who began this journey. Think about how much you have changed. You may not even recognize it, but I do. You are stronger now, more compassionate, more patient, more understanding, more dependent on me than before. The person you were years ago would not have handled today's challenges, and the person you are today is being prepared for tomorrow's opportunities. Nothing has been wasted. Not the tears, not the heartbreak, not the disappointments, not even the mistakes. I have used every experience to shape something beautiful inside you. Even the seasons that felt empty were accomplishing more than you realized. While you thought you were losing time, I was building strength. While you thought you were being overlooked, I was developing wisdom. While you thought you were being delayed, I was deepening your roots. Because anything that grows quickly without strong roots eventually collapses. But what I am building in you is meant to last. That is why the process has taken time. That is why some prayers were answered slowly. That is why certain doors remained closed longer than you expected. I was creating stability beneath the surface. I was building a foundation that could support the future I have planned for you. My child, there are blessings coming that require maturity. There are opportunities coming that require discernment. There are relationships coming that require healing. There are assignments coming that require courage. And everything you have been through has been preparing you for those moments. You have learned lessons in the darkness that will guide you in the light. You have developed strength through adversity that will sustain you during success. You have discovered a deeper dependence on me that will protect you from pride when greater things arrive. Can you see it now? The season was never punishment. The season was preparation. The waiting was never empty. The waiting was productive. The silence was never meaningless. The silence was transformative. Every day I was doing something inside you. Every challenge carried a lesson. Every obstacle carried a purpose. Every delay carried hidden wisdom. And one day you will look back at this chapter and realize that what seemed like the hardest season of your life became one of the most important, because it created the person you are becoming, a stronger person, a wiser person, a more faithful person, a person ready to walk into what I have prepared. So do not despise this season. Do not resent the process. Do not believe the lie that nothing good came from it. Something powerful was happening the entire time, something eternal, something valuable. And now, my child, because of everything I have been building inside you, you are approaching a moment that will require a decision to release what can no longer go with you into your next season. Because where I am leading you next, there are things you must finally let go of. My child, if you are still here listening to these words, I do not believe that is a coincidence. Many people would have left by now. Many would have kept scrolling. But you stayed. Perhaps because something deep inside your spirit recognizes that this message is meant for you. So before we continue, I want you to take a small step of faith. Type Amen in the comments if you believe God has been preparing you during this season, even when you could not see it. And if these words are speaking directly to your heart, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Not for us, but because every time you engage with messages like this, you help someone else who is hurting, waiting, and praying find the encouragement they need today. Now stay with me, my child, because what I am about to reveal next may explain why God is asking you to finally release certain things before He opens the doors that are waiting ahead. My beloved child, there comes a moment in every journey when moving forward requires letting go. This is that moment. I know there are things you have been holding on to for far too long. Some of them are memories. Some are wounds. Some are disappointments. Some are fears. And some are people you already know cannot follow you where I am leading you. Yet you continue carrying them, not because they bring you peace, but because they feel familiar. My child, familiarity is not always destiny. Just because something has been part of your life for a long time does not mean it belongs in your future. There are burdens you were never meant to carry this far. There are hurts you were never meant to relive every day. There are regrets you were never meant to keep revisiting. And today I am asking you to release them. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. I know letting go feels difficult. You fear what will happen if you finally surrender those things. You fear the emptiness. You fear the uncertainty. You fear the change. But hear me carefully. I am not asking you to release something valuable. I am asking you to release what has been weighing down your soul. The bitterness you still carry toward those who hurt you. The anger you replay in your mind. The disappointment that still controls your thoughts. The guilt that keeps reminding you of past mistakes. The fear that whispers that nothing will ever change. These things cannot go where I am taking you. My child, you cannot carry yesterday's chains into tomorrow's freedom. You cannot walk into a new season while clinging to an old one. You cannot fully receive what I am placing before you while your hands remain tightly closed around what I have asked you to release. That is why I keep speaking to your heart about forgiveness. Not because those who hurt you deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Forgiveness is not agreeing with what happened. It is releasing your right to carry the burden any longer. It is trusting me to handle what you cannot. Some of you are still carrying pain from years ago. Words spoken over you, promises broken, relationships lost, moments that changed everything. And every time you revisit those memories, the wound opens again. My child, I never intended for you to live trapped inside your past. The past may explain you, but it does not define you. The pain may have shaped you, but it does not own you. You belong to me, and I want to heal the places you keep trying to protect. Let me into those hidden rooms of your heart, the places you rarely talk about, the places you pretend no longer hurt, the places where disappointment still lives. I am not afraid of what I will find there. I already know, and I still love you completely. There are also people you may need to release, not because you hate them, not because you wish them harm, but because not everyone assigned to one season is assigned to the next. Some people were part of a chapter, not the entire story. And holding on to relationships that continuously pull you away from peace, purpose, and growth will only delay what I am trying to do in your life. Trust me when I tell you this. Anything I remove, I can replace with something better. Anything I ask you to surrender, I can restore in a healthier way. Anything I close, I can open something greater. You do not have to fear letting go when my hand is guiding your future. So today, release the bitterness, release the regret, release the fear, release the guilt, release the need to understand everything. Place it all in my hands, because where I am leading you next requires lighter burdens, greater trust, and a willing heart. And as you begin to let go, you will discover something beautiful. You are not losing anything that was truly meant for you. You are simply making room for what I have already been preparing. And there is another truth you need to understand. The attacks, the struggles, and the battles you faced were not random. In fact, the enemy targeted something very specific inside you, something he feared, something he recognized before you did. And that is what I want to reveal next. My beloved child, there is something you have misunderstood for a long time. Many of the battles you faced were not random. Many of the attacks against your peace were not accidents. Many of the obstacles that appeared in your path were not meaningless. There was a reason. The enemy saw something inside you that you had not yet fully recognized. He saw potential. He saw purpose. He saw the calling I placed upon your life, and he feared it. That is why the attacks came. Not because you were weak, but because there was something valuable inside you. Think about it, my child. Why would the enemy waste his energy attacking someone who posed no threat? Why would he work so hard to fill your mind with fear, doubt, confusion, and discouragement if your future held no significance? The intensity of the battle often reveals the importance of the assignment. The enemy does not fear who you were. He fears who you are becoming. He fears the healed version of you. He fears the faithful version of you. He fears the version of you that finally believes what I have spoken over your life. Because once you truly understand who you are in me, many of the chains that have held you captive will begin to break. For years he whispered lies into your heart. You are not enough. You are too broken. You missed your opportunity. Nothing will ever change. You will always struggle. My child, those voices never came from me. I have never spoken those words over your life. I call you chosen. I call you loved. I call you redeemed. I call you mine. The enemy understood something you often forgot. He knew that if you ever fully embraced your identity, your faith would become stronger than your fear. And that terrified him. That is why discouragement visited you so often. That is why disappointment seemed to arrive just when hope was growing. That is why some of your hardest battles happened right before important seasons of growth. The enemy was trying to convince you to quit before you reached what I was preparing. But look at you now. You are still here. You survived. You endured. You kept moving forward. And that alone is proof that his plan failed. My child, every attack that was meant to destroy you has instead strengthened you. Every setback taught you something. Every disappointment developed resilience. Every trial deepened your dependence on me. What was intended for harm became part of your preparation. You thought you were breaking, but I was building. You thought you were losing, but I was teaching. You thought the pressure would crush you, but it was creating strength you did not know you possessed. Now I want you to stop seeing yourself through the lens of your wounds. Stop defining yourself by what happened to you. Stop measuring your future by your past failures. The enemy wants your attention fixed on your scars. I want your attention fixed on your purpose, because your story is bigger than your pain. Your future is greater than your setbacks, and your calling is stronger than the attacks that tried to stop it. One day, my child, the very areas where you suffered most may become the places where you help others heal. The very battles that brought you to your knees may become the testimony that lifts someone else to their feet. Nothing has been wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the struggle, not even the attacks. I have been weaving every piece together for something greater than you can currently see. And now the enemy knows something else. He knows his time of influence over your thinking is coming to an end. Because you are beginning to see yourself the way I see you. You are beginning to understand that you were never abandoned, never forgotten, never defeated. And that realization marks the beginning of a shift in your thinking, a shift in your faith, a shift in your future. In fact, my child, the shift has already begun. Even now, while you are listening to these words, things are moving behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. And what is happening next may be closer than you think. My beloved child, I know there are days when you look at your life and wonder if anything is really changing. You pray, you wait, you hope, and yet everything around you seems the same. The same challenges, the same responsibilities, the same unanswered questions, the same uncertainty. Because of that, it is easy to believe that nothing is happening. But I need you to hear me clearly. The shift has already begun. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean there is no movement. Just because you cannot see the answer does not mean I am not working. Just because the breakthrough has not fully appeared does not mean it is not already on its way. So much of what I do begins beneath the surface. Long before a flower appears, roots are growing underground. Long before the sunrise appears, the darkness is already giving way to morning. Long before a door opens, preparations are being made behind it. And that is exactly what is happening in your life right now. There are things moving in your favor that you cannot yet see. Conversations are happening. Circumstances are shifting. Opportunities are developing. People are being positioned. Doors are being prepared. The pieces are coming together. Not by accident, not by luck, but by my hand. My child, I know you have grown tired of waiting for visible signs. You have asked for confirmation. You have asked for clarity. You have asked for reassurance that you are moving in the right direction. And today, I am giving you that reassurance. Keep going. Do not stop now. Do not turn back now. Do not let discouragement convince you to abandon the very season that is preparing to bless you. You are closer than you think, closer to healing than you realize, closer to peace than you feel, closer to breakthrough than you can currently see. The enemy wants you to quit because he knows what is ahead. He wants you to become impatient. He wants you to become frustrated. He wants you to settle for less than what I have prepared. But do not agree with those lies. Stay faithful. Stay patient. Stay close to me, because what I have promised has not changed. My child, there are moments in life when change happens suddenly after a long period of unseen preparation. People call it an overnight miracle. But what they do not see are all the hidden days that came before it. The days of growth, the days of learning, the days of trusting, the days of becoming. You have been living through those days, and now the season is beginning to shift. The healing you prayed for is closer. The peace you longed for is nearer. The restoration you hoped for is approaching. I am not saying every challenge will disappear overnight. But I am saying that you are no longer standing where you once were. You have grown. You have matured. You have changed. And because you have changed, your future is changing too. The person who first entered this season is not the same person listening to these words right now. You have survived things that once would have broken you. You have learned lessons that only experience could teach. You have developed strength that could not have been gained any other way. That growth matters, and heaven sees it. So stop measuring your progress only by what is happening around you. Look at what has happened within you. Look at the strength. Look at the wisdom. Look at the faith. Look at the resilience. Those are signs that the shift has already begun. My child, I want you to keep your eyes forward. Do not become distracted by what appears delayed. Do not become discouraged by what remains unfinished. Trust the process. Trust my timing. Trust my hand. Because the same God who carried you through the last season is leading you into the next one. And the next chapter will require something important from you. You must stop believing that you are behind. You must stop believing that you missed your moment. Because one of the greatest lies you have been carrying is the belief that it is too late for you. And that is exactly what I want to speak to your heart about next. My beloved child, there is a lie that has quietly followed you for far too long. It whispers to you when you compare your life to others. It whispers to you when another year passes. It whispers to you when a prayer remains unanswered. The lie says, "You are too late. You missed your opportunity. Others are moving ahead while you are falling behind." And little by little that lie has tried to settle into your heart. But today I want you to hear my voice louder than that lie. You have not missed your moment. You are not behind. You are not too late, my child. You are exactly where you need to be for what I am doing in your life. I know there have been times when you looked around and felt discouraged. You saw other people achieving their goals, building families, finding success, receiving blessings, walking through doors you hoped would open for you, and you wondered why your journey looked different. You wondered why your progress seemed slower. You wondered if perhaps you had somehow failed. But my child, you were never meant to live someone else's story. The path I created for you is unique. The timing I chose for you is intentional. The purpose I placed within you is unlike anyone else's. That is why comparison has been stealing your peace. Comparison causes you to focus on what others are receiving instead of what I am preparing. Comparison causes you to question your journey when you should be trusting it. Comparison blinds you to the growth that has already taken place inside you. Listen carefully. You may not be where you want to be yet, but you are not where you used to be. You have grown. You have learned. You have healed. You have survived. And all of that matters. My child, I do not measure your life the way the world does. The world measures speed. I measure growth. The world measures popularity. I measure faithfulness. The world measures appearances. I measure the condition of the heart. And from my perspective, you are making more progress than you realize. You are becoming the person I created you to be. That process is not late. That process is right on time. The doors I have prepared for you have not disappeared. The promises I spoke over your life have not expired. The dreams I placed within your heart are still alive. I have not forgotten them, and I have certainly not forgotten you. What I have for you cannot be stolen by someone else's success. What I have prepared for you cannot be canceled by a delay. What I have ordained for your life cannot be undone by your past mistakes. My child, stop calling yourself late when I am still writing your story. Stop calling yourself forgotten when I am still guiding your steps. Stop calling yourself defeated when I am still working on your behalf. You have not missed your moment. In many ways, your moment is drawing closer than ever before. The waiting season is not proof that nothing is happening. It is proof that preparation is still taking place. And soon, very soon, you will begin to see evidence of what I have been doing behind the scenes all along. Because the future I prepared for you is still alive. The promises are still alive. The purpose is still alive. And that is what I want you to understand next. My beloved child, I want you to hold on to this truth with all your heart. The future I prepared for you is still alive. Not damaged, not canceled, not forgotten, alive. I know there were moments when it felt as though your dreams had slipped away forever. You watched opportunities disappear. You watched plans unravel. You watched situations unfold differently than you expected. And slowly, disappointment began convincing you that perhaps the best parts of your story would never happen. But my child, disappointment does not have the authority to rewrite what I have spoken over your life. People may fail you. Circumstances may change. Doors may close. But my promises do not expire. The dreams I placed within your heart were not accidents. The desires that continue to stir within your spirit were not mistakes. Many of them were planted there by me long before you understood why. And I have not forgotten a single one. Even the prayers you stopped praying. Even the hopes you quietly buried. even the promises you no longer dare to speak aloud because protecting yourself feels easier than hoping again. I remember them all. My child, I have never changed my mind about you. Others may have doubted you. Others may have underestimated you. Others may have walked away from you, but I have remained constant. My love has remained constant. My purpose has remained constant. My plans have remained constant. What I began in your life, I still intend to complete. That does not mean the journey will always look the way you imagined. Sometimes I fulfill promises through paths you never expected. Sometimes I answer prayers in ways greater than what you originally requested. Sometimes I restore by creating something new rather than rebuilding what was lost. But make no mistake, I am still working, even now, behind the scenes, beyond what your eyes can currently see. There are blessings being prepared, connections being arranged, opportunities being formed, healing taking place, and every piece is moving according to a timing that is wiser than your own. So do not let hopelessness settle into your heart. Do not let past disappointments convince you that your future has disappeared. The story is not over. The promise is not dead. The dream is not lost. And you are certainly not forgotten. Lift your eyes again. Hope again. Believe again. Trust again. Because what I have prepared for you is still alive. And very soon, you will begin to see evidence that I was working all along. In fact, before this message comes to an end, there is one final truth I need you to hear, a truth that has been woven through every season of your life, through every prayer, every delay, every battle, every victory. You were never forgotten, not for a single moment. My precious child, as this message comes to a close, I want you to carry one truth with you above all others. You were never forgotten, not when you cried yourself to sleep, not when the answer seemed delayed, not when the door closed, not when the people you trusted walked away, not when you questioned your worth, not when you wondered if I was listening. Not even then. I was there through every moment. I saw every tear before it fell. I heard every prayer before it left your lips. I understood every fear you could not explain to anyone else. And through it all, I remained faithful. When you felt weak, I sustained you. When you felt lost, I guided you. When you felt alone, I stayed beside you. There were countless moments when you thought you were carrying yourself, but it was my strength holding you together. My child, look back for a moment. Look at everything you have survived. Look at the battles that should have broken you. Look at the disappointments that tried to steal your hope. Look at the fears that tried to control your future. Yet you are still here, still standing, still believing, still moving forward. That is not an accident. That is evidence of my hand upon your life. You may not understand every chapter of your story yet. You may still have questions. You may still be waiting for certain answers. But never mistake waiting for abandonment. Never mistake silence for absence. And never mistake delay for rejection. I have been working through every season, the painful seasons, the confusing seasons, the lonely seasons, the growing seasons, all of them. Nothing has been wasted. Every lesson has value. Every struggle has purpose. Every tear has meaning. And now, my child, I want you to step forward with confidence. Not because you know everything that lies ahead, but because you know who walks beside you. The same God who carried you through yesterday will carry you through tomorrow. The same God who protected you in the past will guide you in the future. The same God who began this work in your life is not finished yet. Your story is not ending. Your hope is not fading. Your purpose is not disappearing. In many ways, it is only beginning. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and keep moving forward, because the chapter ahead is brighter than the chapter behind. And no matter what comes next, remember this: you were never forgotten, you were always loved, and you always will be. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for speaking to my heart today. Thank you for reminding me that I am never alone, never forgotten, and never beyond your reach. Lord, I place every burden into your hands right now. Every fear, every worry, every disappointment, and every unanswered question, I surrender them to you. Heal the places in my heart that still carry pain. Restore the areas where I have lost hope. Help me release the past and trust the future you have prepared for me. When I feel weak, be my strength. When I feel confused, be my wisdom. When I feel afraid, remind me that you are always with me. Father, teach me to trust your timing even when I cannot understand it. Help me walk by faith and not by fear. Give me peace in the waiting and courage for the journey ahead. Thank you for every blessing you are preparing, every door you are opening, and every battle you are fighting on my behalf. Today I choose to believe that my story is still being written by your loving hands. I trust you, I follow you, and I place my future completely in your care. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. My beloved friend, if this message spoke to your heart today, don't let this moment pass without responding. Faith grows when it is declared. So right now, I want you to type this simple declaration in the comments. Amen. I trust God's timing. Let those words be a statement of faith over your life. A declaration that you believe God has not forgotten you. A declaration that you trust Him even in the waiting. A declaration that your future is still in His hands. And if this message encouraged you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Every like, every comment, and every subscription helps these messages reach someone who may be struggling, hurting, or searching for hope today. Most importantly, share this video with someone who needs to hear these words. Someone who feels forgotten. Someone who feels tired. Someone who is waiting for a breakthrough. You never know how one message can change a person's day or even their life. Remember, my friend, the fact that you heard this message today may not be a coincidence. It may be the reminder you have been praying for. Stay strong. Keep believing. Keep trusting. And never forget, God is still working, even when you cannot see it. God bless you.